Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate this opportunity, and I do request possibly that you could ask that question you asked Senator Vard, because I believe I can answer that. Okay. Our findings in Hollis reveal a startling reality that between 1 in 5 and 1 in 4 names on our particular voter rolls were illegitimate. As you know, the state of New Hampshire's 10-year purge successfully removed 250,000 names. Considering the state's small population of 1.3 million and factoring in the significant portion of people aged 17 and under, we're essentially cleaning up an incredibly high percentage of voters on our list. Because some cities and towns do an absolutely fabulous job, this highlights that a substantial level of inaccuracy remains across the remaining towns. One must ask why and what can we do to help mitigate things. In Hollis alone, in 2020, we had a U.S. Census population of 8,342 people. Our supervisor of the checklists, the 3 of them, signed off their names to declare that we had 7,700 people on our voter rolls. On the surface, this was outrageously high, and the voter tally in that particular year, at the presidential election in November, 5,890, demonstrating to us on the surface we had a 76% voter turnout. With the population in Hollis of 17 and under, we knew that the voter rolls should range, before analysis, between 5,700 and 6,300, not the 7,700. In fact, the imminent state purge culled 1,390 names to be removed. Since this happened within just a short period after the election and with very few in-moves and out-moves as far as our population and housing market, the state's 10-year purge demonstrated that we had a very good possibility of a 93% voter turnout. Upon further investigation, we discovered a list on our own of 500 names of people, citizens who had lived in Hollis, who submitted to the U.S. Post Office permanent change of address requests to move out of Hollis and have their mail forwarded. We then presented this to our checklist folks and then encouraged them to do a cleanup. They looked into this, and of course they also had some assistance with a new program that comes from the Secretary of State's office to help in this process. As of December 2023, we are now down to 6,006 people. This showing the possibility of too high, 98% voter turnout. I then went to the town hall and pulled the building permits for the last 4 years. We had 200 homes over, actually. So there's a possibility now that we need to analyze that we have 200 to 400 more new registrants that have should be on our ballots. Since we're at 6,006, and that's only 116 more people than who actually voted in 2020, this really needs a serious look. This could demonstrate over 100% turnout. We don't want to be in these type of possibilities. This is outrageous, and it just suggests how important regular cleaning of the voter rolls are. Numbers like this are not acceptable. To further drive home why we need state intervention, we learned from one of our 3 supervisors of the checklist that they in Hollis, quote, refrain from sending out 30-day letters because they know the state will do the work for them, end quote. Another checklist person is quoted as saying, quote, we knew we were not sending out 30-day letters on a timely basis, end quote, and, quote, knew the voter rolls were overinflated, end quote. So you can see the variable problem we have here of human activity affecting the efficacy of our list. Approval of this measure will help take the accuracy to a new level, ensuring confident integrity in the process. Without attention, controversy in each election becomes inevitable. And to address your question to the Senator, if we do not change the way we do the cleanup and we let it float, that means that the people who you were worried about, the time frame, if they didn't vote for a couple of years, we are now, right now, we arbitrarily say at the 10-year mark, this is when we do it. And they could also have had to babysit and do these things, so they couldn't. So in a way, the problem you're talking about, it already exists now. If we do this on a constant basis, the criteria will just float every 2 years. So you won't really be changing the problems that exist now. You won't be increasing them. So I'm happy to take any questions.
Questions from committee members? I will ask questions.
Please.
Certainly, I would be more in favor of doing it every 5 years with a 4-year look back, but that wouldn't preclude you to do it every 2 years. But again, I would want at least a 4-year look back because we have a large number of voters that only vote in a presidential election. Comment on those?
I agree with you. We don't really need to change too much. We just need to do what we're doing more frequently. Pretty straightforward and simple.
Okay, seeing no other